I'm muted. All right. All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and today is February the 7th of 2024. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney today. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch. When I ask if you understand your right, that is what I am referring to. Have all defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
Yes.
All right. Who do we have first at courtroom 2?
Position number 3.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Are you Antoinette Chapman? Okay, your case is 24 CR 0000652. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your right? All right. Can I have the history, Mr. Howard?
I got first arrest.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, Pierre Thomas.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. One moment as I find it on the paper. Oh, okay. Brief facts of the case, Your Honor, is that the defendant herself admitted to keying the victim's, her boyfriend's, the victim, Malcolm McDowell, MALCOM, COLM, McDowell, MCDOWELL. She admitted to keying his car and throwing a soda at his residence door after he allegedly assaulted her. Our office was able to get in contact with Mr. McDowell, and so if we could sound for him in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, however, is a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from 1925 Waycrest Drive, South Fulton, which is the incident location, for her to have no further contact with Mr. McDowell, for her to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and for her to complete an anger awareness course. And if at this time we could sound for Mr. McDowell, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay. Is Mr. McDowell present, wishes to make a statement? Okay, I don't see Mr. McDowell. Mr. Cook, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client the signature bond through the jail, but requires
Hello?
Hello, very quickly, are you Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Raise your right hand if you want to say something, make it quickly. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, what I'm concerned with today is whether you'd like to have contact with the defendant and if you have concerns for your safety. What would you like to tell me?
Well, first, I just want to say that I've never planned on trying to press charges on anyone. Yes, we
Okay,
did
so
have
is it safe to assume you wish to have contact with her and you don't have
Yes,
concerns for your safety?
I don't have concerns for my safety, no.
Okay. All right. And again, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is a bond hearing. If you want to speak more specifically to the facts, that will be done at a later date. Okay. In light of the the alleged victim statement, Mr. Cook, I'm inclined to amend it and make it that she would still receive the SOB through the jail, but she is to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. Is there any objection? You're muted there, Mr. Cook. You're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay. No problem with that, Your Honor. My client is 24, has no record, is a student at Georgia State, getting her BA. She has an associate degree in getting her BA in psychology. I really don't think, given all the circumstances, that an anger management course is appropriate.
I wasn't going to require that, Mr. Cook. I was just going to give her the signature bond through the jail with the no further violent contact.
Thank you, Your Honor. No.
All right. All right. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. She's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, last name McDowell, and she's to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition of that signature bond. Is there anything additional?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to all the parties concerned. And best of luck to you as well, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Position number 8, Ms. Hogan.
Cool.
Hogan.
Okay. All right, Ms. Hogan, your case is 24 CR 0000657. You are charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights?
Not exactly.
You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard?
I got first.
All right. Mr. Pierre Thomas, please proceed.
This is Vanessa Hogan, correct?
That's
Correct.
All right, brief facts of the case is that on February 6, 2024, the officer responded to a call at Fifth Third Bank located at 2555 Piedmont Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, regarding a criminal trespass. The officer met with the front desk person, Dominique Deans, Deanes. She stated that the defendant came to the location and started to say that she had a job interview with the manager and that she also needed to use to talk to the technician in regards to her computer, her working computer. Ms. Dean stated that the defendant frequently does this at different Fifth Third Bank locations where she refuses to leave. She stated that on February 1st, 2024, the defendant was criminally trespassed from the location at 3344 Peachtree Road regarding the same incidents. The defendant verbally criminally trespassed. Ms. Deans verbally criminally trespassed the defendant in the presence of the officer, to which the defendant left. And later that day, that same officer received a call that the defendant had returned to the location and attempted to enter. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail in this case. However, the state will be asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, for her to have no contact with Ms. Dominique Deans, and for her to stay away from all Fifth Third banks, as the allegation is that she frequently goes to several different locations and participates in the same behavior. Nothing further from the state at this time.
Okay. And counsel, I can't quite see who you are. Is that you, Mr. Ty?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail as recommended. However, I would require the no contact and to stay away from the Fifth Third banks during the pendency of this action. Do you have any objection to that?
I have no objections, Your Honor. I would just state that she does deny the allegations as stated.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. She's to stay away from all Fifth Third banks. And she is additionally to have no contact with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Hawkins. That concludes your case.
But I can object personally. The details that were presented by Brandon here was actually incorrect.
All right. Who do we have next?
Position number 9.
All right. This is Adrian Pruitt.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case is 24 CR 0000658, and you are charged with simple battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
I saw like 20 total. I saw mostly driving.
The
Okay.
brief facts of the case is that on February 5th, 2024, the officer responded to 3135 Godby Road, apartment 45-579, in Fulton County, Georgia, on an information for officer call. The officer made contact with the victim. The victim in this case is Rhonda, Rhonda Perry, Perry, who stated that the defendant was in the house when she asked the defendant to leave, to which point the defendant replied that she was not going to leave and began hitting and scratching her in the face without provocation. The victim had injuries to her face that the officer observed. Pretrial is correct about the 20 arrests that are ultimately essentially driving, with the exception of the 2019 theft by taking arrest, which is in opposite to the case here today. But the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location, to have no contact with Ms. Perry. If we could sound for Ms. Perry in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. And the completion of an anger awareness course. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
Okay. Is Ms. Perry present? All right. Hearing none, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 46 years old. She's the mother of 2 minor children. She has lived in Georgia all her life. As you heard from pretrial, she has absolutely no violent criminal history. She works hard as a laundry attendant. She states to me that she is the one who made the 911 call. And she does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. I would I don't have any objections to the signature bond through pretrial services. The stay away from the incident location is fine, but she does live on the same street, in the same apartment complex, a different apartment. So I just want to be sure that the stay away doesn't affect her ability to go back to her home. No further contact with the complaining witness is fine. I do object to the anger awareness course. I mean, she's 46 years old and has absolutely no violent history. So I don't think that that is necessary, and nothing further.
All right, defendant will receive a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to have no further contact with the alleged victim, stay away from that incident location. However, she can return to her own home, and she is to complete the 1-day anger awareness course. That will be pretrial level 1. All right, is there anything additional?
Nothing further.
Nothing further from the
How
state.
much you say?
35. All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Position number 15, Ms. Roberts.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Roberts. Your case number is 24 CR 0000663. In this case, you are charged with simple battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have Ms. Roberts' history?
Second arrest. 2019 simple assault obstruction, given false name.
All right. Is this Ms. Dunlap's case? Ms. Dunlap, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident stemmed from yesterday, the 6th. Officers responded to a call of fight in progress. The victim, Miss Alexis Manuel, stated that her cousin was at the apartment gathering his items, and after being told that he was going to be escorted off the property by police, that he called his sister, who was Miss Roberts, the defendant. And when she arrived, she began fighting the victim, Miss Manuel. She told police that when Miss Manuel came out of her room, she became triggered because she was being loud. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail, no further contact with the victim and Alexis Manuel, a stay away from it looks like Miss Manuel's mother's home address, 979 Howell Place Southwest, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and we can sign for the victim when appropriate.
All right, is Miss Manuel present? I don't see her. And who represents this defendant?
I think it's Ms. Kim.
Oh, Miss Kim had to log off and log back in.
Yeah, she's having issues with the laptop.
Okay. In the meantime, who represents the gentleman at courtroom 1? I'm assuming he's gonna need interpretation.
Ms. Kim.
Oh, that again is unfortunate. Okay, I see Miss Kim is back on the line. Miss Kim, can you hear us and see us? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. There's a really bad echo, so please mute Miss Kim. Okay.
Okay, Miss Sheila Roberts, she is 23.
Oh, before you do all that, Miss Kim, I'm
raised
inclined to give
here
her
in
that
Georgia,
signature.
and she has been unemployed for last 3 years because of her newborn baby that she has to raise, and she has had lots of financial challenges. She's currently residing with her mother, and Your Honor, this is cousin, and it was not a serious issue. She denies the allegation. She said that she was attacked by group of people, including complaining witness, who had weapons in their hand,
Miss
and they
Kim,
threatened
Miss
to
Kim,
harm
does
her.
complaining does the complaining witness live at the incident location?
No, I believe yes, they do.
So they all live together.
I thought so, but can I double check with my end?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have that they live together. This is the victim's mom's address, and
Yes.
the brother who was helping because the mom is paralyzed.
Okay. So the defendant does not live at that location. So if I do a stay away, that would not be a challenge, Miss Kim?
Uh, she does, well, this is her mother's address and she has to go back there. She doesn't have any other place to go. Okay, Miss Roberts, do you have any information about that?
Yes, I do. It's not, she's referring to the 979. I don't reside there at all. I've never stayed there. I was only going there to receive my brother's belongings, but it ended up turning into a fight. I do.
Okay, okay, don't say anything else. Thank you. All
Okay,
right.
thank
Okay,
you.
that's good. So
I appreciate it.
we're gonna give your client the signature by through the jail, Miss Kim.
Thank you.
She's to
Yes,
have no contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from that incident location. Additionally,
yes,
she's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition.
perfect. Thank
All right.
you.
All right, can we put Miss Kim in a breakout room with
Your
Miss?
Honor, what is the amount of the bond? We didn't
I'm
just,
sorry, it'll be 5,000.
thank you.
Can we put Miss Kim in a breakout with courtroom 1 and Miss Chancey? Miss Chancey, will you please raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Adriana Chansey.
All right, Miss Chancey, do you swear and affirm that you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and abilities today?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, thank you. Put your hand down.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Position 1, Bates.
All right. Let's see. I'm sorry, my apologies. All right, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 0000650. In this case, you're charged with 2 counts of theft by shoplifting, 1 count of criminal trespass, and 1 count of obstruction. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Can I have the history, Mr. Howard?
11 total, 2023 shoplifting, tampering with evidence, 2022 trespass, 2021 battery DV, 2021 shoplifting.
Okay. Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Your Honor, very brief facts of the case is this is a trespassing, theft by shoplifting, trespassing, and obstruction case. Looks like the incident location is the Chevron gas station of 336 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, Northwest Atlanta. I think the indicia for the first trespassing is that I believe he consumed a can of beer, which deprived the owner of possession of it. The second incident is he concealed 4 bags of chips and 8 bottles of water. I believe the total of the chips in the water was $39.09. The indicia for the criminal trespass is that I believe he kicked the door to the location in an effort to try to open it. And I believe the indicia for the obstruction of a law enforcement officer is, in addition to resisting arrest, I believe he also kicked the door to the patrol car or something like that, or kicked the exterior rear of the vehicle by pushing away with his legs in an effort to resist arrest. Recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, stay away from the 336 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, Northwest Atlanta location, which is that Chevron, for him to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And I do believe that is all, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cook, I'm assuming you would not object to the signature bond through pretrial at level 1 with the stay away?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He's to stay away from that incident location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. It will be at level 1, of course.
And that's
All right.
on each charge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. Yes.
Okay.
Good. Next is position 4, Cooper.
All right. My phone won't let me scroll. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Cooper. Your case is 24 CR 0000653. You're charged with obstruction. You understand your rights?
No.
Was that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Counted about 54 cycles. 2023 trespass, 21 probation. Let me skip over some stuff. I got 2015 robbery conviction. That's your timeout in April with the probation. 2019 battery, 2020 disorderly conduct, 2020 probation. 2021 battery DV. You want me to keep going?
That's sufficient. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Brief facts of the case, Your Honor. Is he only charged with the obstruction of a law enforcement officer on the
That's
calendar?
all I see.
All right. Brief facts of the case is that officers responded to a trespassing call at the location of 9966 Pearl Street, East Point, Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia, where the defendant was asked multiple times to leave by the homeowner Aldrich Lowe, Aldrich, ALDRICHLOWE. And upon the officer's arrival, they asked the defendant to leave numerous times, to which he refused, at which point he was arrested. And the defendant forcibly pulled away in short, in resisting arrest. Your Honor, the recommendation, given the nature of the charge, but it's in the discretion of the court, but the recommendation is a signature bond through the pretrial services, an obvious stay away from that incident location of the 2966 Pearl Street, East Point, Georgia location, and no further contact with the victim. If we could sound for the victim in accordance with Marcy's thought, that'd be greatly appreciated. And a no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Well, if on an obstruction, I'm not sure that that person would be the victim, but I will sound for that person. Is Mr. Lowe present? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation by the state.
What was the most recent, Mr. Howard, again? 20 what?
Looks like 2023 criminal trespass.
Yeah, 2023 was trespass.
All right. All right. Defendant is going to receive a signature bond through pretrial level 1.
You do level 2? I mean, this history is
it is. Yeah. Level, I was considered, well, how many times is level 3?
once a week.
All right, we're going to do level 3. Signature bond through pretrial. And he is to stay away from that incident location and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons.
What's the bond amount, Judge?
It is $3,500.
Thank you.
Is there some way, I understand that he was only charged with the obstruction, but the indicia for the obstruction is the arrest. And so in the arrest, the indicia for the arrest is the criminal trespass. So can we still have the no contact with the victim?
On an obstruction? The other charge is not here, Mr. Thomas. All right, we can add it, no contact with Mr. Lowe. But again, you should look at how we're accusing these. Because if you are charging criminal trespass, the technically is, I mean, you're charging obstruction. Technically, there is no victim. All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position number 5, Douglas.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 24CR000654. In this case, you're charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right, can I have the history, Mr. Howard?
4 total. All you got is drugs. I ain't seen any violence.
Okay. And whose case is this for the state? You're muted,
Sir.
Mr. Pierre
What's the
Thomas.
name again? Sorry.
Position 5,
Okay, what's the last name?
Douglas.
Okay, brief facts of the case is that the officer was called to the location due to a dispute between mother and son. The defendant was not at the location when the officers arrived. The victim in this case, Ms. Douglas, stated that she confronted the defendant about him smoking weed in the house and the defendant taking food out of the refrigerator and throwing it out. When she approached him is when the defendant hit her in the chest and neck area and pushed her towards the wall. There were no visible injuries notated at the time that the officers were there or officers showed up. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim in this case. She is the mother of the defendant. She stated that the defendant suffers from MH issues and currently refuses to take medication. She does seek to have no contact. One moment. She does not want any contact with the defendant, and she wants him to stay away from the residence. And she does not believe that he needs a one-time law enforcement escort for his belongings. And if we could sound for the victim in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. Recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from the 1000 Hightower Road, Atlanta, Georgia location, and a no further contact, in addition to a no further contact with Charlene, Charlene Douglas, the completion of one anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right. Ms. Douglas, I see you on the screen. Please unmute your screen and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. What I'm most concerned with, again, if you disagree with something Mr. Thomas said, that's not what I'm concerned with today. What I need to know is if you have concerns for your safety and if you wish to have contact with the defendant. What would you like to tell me?
Okay. I'm not concerned with my safety. I just want him to get some help. I'm not concerned for my health.
So do you wish to have
safety.
contact?
Yes, I can have contact with him.
All right. And you don't have any concerns for your safety?
No, ma'am.
And you want him to be able to return to your home?
Yeah, knowing just low, he don't do drugs and alcohol and no weapons.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ty?
Well, Your Honor, the state finds that a little bit concerning because we spoke with the victim and she said that there's a current TPO filed in the situation or in the matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can't have contact with her anyway.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Ty?
Your Honor, my client is 33 years old. He does deny the allegations stated in the warrant. Even the warrant states that the complaining witness had no visible injuries, but that my client did have a scratch on his face. When I spoke with his mother, she stated that she's okay with no violent contact, but I don't know if there's a TPO, but if
Then
there
we have to abide by that TPO.
do we have it?
I don't have it, but I'm assuming that the state and Miss Douglas are aware that it exists. So if there is a TPO in place, we're gonna abide by that. So we can make the order say that.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. And I would, I didn't hear the history, but I don't think he has any violent history. I would object to the 1-day anger awareness. And I would ask for a signature bond. That can be through pretrial services if necessary.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim, and he's stay away from that location. And if there is a TPO in place, additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything?
Your Honor, can I ask a quick question?
You really shouldn't, but very quickly.
Okay. I was trying to see if it's a court order where you can put in where he can start taking his medicine.
That's not something I can do at this juncture, okay?
Okay, well, yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Best of luck to you, sir. All right, can we do the interpretation case now? Good luck to you, Ms. Douglas.
Thank you, love.
All right, what position is the interpretation case?
13, I believe, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Ochoa. Your case is 24 CR 000661.
Buenas tardes, señor Ochoa. Su número de caso es 24 CR 000661.
In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass.
Y en este caso, usted está acusado por allanamiento de morada.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho de guardar silencio porque todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Kim is here to represent you.
Usted tiene el derecho a ser representado por un abogado y la señorita Kim está aquí representándolo.
This proceeding is being conducted over the internet as a live stream.
Esta audiencia está siendo publicada sobre la internet como de manera en vivo.
That means it's also being recorded. That means anyone can watch this.
Y también está siendo grabada, es decir, que cualquier persona puede observar esto.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing?
¿Usted entiende los derechos que tiene y cómo yo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have his history?
¿Puedo tener sus antecedentes, por favor?
This is 10th arrest.
Este es el 10º arresto.
Last arrest was in January for trespass.
El último fue en enero por allanamiento de morada.
2022 FTA and alien inadmissibility.
En el 2022, incumplimiento de presentación ante el tribunal y también por residencia indocumentada.
2021 theft by taking.
Y también en el 2021 por hurto o robo.
2020 theft by taking, trespass conviction.
Y también en el 2020 por hurto y allanamiento de morada.
That's good. That's good.
I have, okay.
Está bien.
All right, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you.
Señora Ellen.
Defendant was found sleeping on Confluence Trail.
Commons Fluent. I'm sorry.
Confluence Trail.
El acusado fue encontrado dormido en Hansflues Trail.
He was already criminal trespassed at this location on December 13th, 2023 by the owner of South Fork Conservancy.
Entonces, en el 13 de diciembre del 2023 fue denunciado por el dueño de la propiedad Concourse Fluency.
He was told he'd be arrested if he came back to the property. He continued to live there with intent and bedding.
También se le avisó que no podía, que si regresaba iba a ser arrestado y no podía vivir en el lugar o descansar ahí.
The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail.
La fiscalía recomienda una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel.
A stay away from the location at 2177 Armand Road.
Y que se mantenga alejado de el domicilio 2177 Armand Road.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol o armas mientras esté libre bajo fianza.
Any objection to that, Ms. Kim?
¿Hay
No
alguna
objection,
objeción?
Your Honor.
No, none.
All right,
Ninguna.
defendant will receive, is it one charge or two? It's just one. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to stay away from that location.
El acusado recibe una fianza de $5,000 con una fianza bajo firma y debe mantenerse alejado del lugar del incidente.
He additionally is to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
All right. Anything additional from State of Defense?
¿Algo más de alguna de las partes?
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Ochoa. That concludes your case.
Mucha suerte, señor Ochoa. Esto termina su caso. Thank
All
you.
right. Miss Chancey, will you sound before you leave?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien que necesite la asistencia de un intérprete en español para hablar con la señorita jueza? ¿Quién? Por favor, avise, prenda su teléfono o salude con la mano.
All right.
I'm sorry, I heard something.
He has a willful obstruction on booking, so is that dismissed or something?
For Mr. Ochoa?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, never mind.
Okay. Was there somebody else that said that they needed Miss Chancey to help them?
¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete nuevamente? No, I think you're fine, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Chancey, for your
Thank you.
assistance today.
You're
Have a good-
welcome. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Position 6.
All right, Mr. Green, your case is 24 CR 000-655. In this case, you're charged with obstruction and criminal trespass. You understand your rights? Is that a yes? Okay. Mr. Howard?
55. This is third arrest this year. He was arrested January 20th, trespass, January 10th, trespass. 2023, 4 counts of obstruction, trespass. Another 2023, trespass, 2022, FTA. Last 3 arrests were on MARTA.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that.
that's good. Thank you, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Got a brief facts of the case is that the officer noticed the defendant at the location in a restricted area, and it revealed that the defendant was permanently banned from MARTA on 6/4/2023. When the officer attempted to make contact with the defendant, he walked in the opposite direction, and once the officer was able to stop, the defendant began running after receiving verbal commands to stop, and a chase took place at that location. The location appears to be 216 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia, which is the Peachtree Mortar Station. The recommendation from the state, and I guess the indicia for this is, I guess something needs to happen, something has to shake, is a $500 surety bond on each count for the obstruction and the criminal trespass, for a total of $1,000 surety bond for him to comply with the current MARTA suspension, which is a permanent ban, and I'd say from all MARTA, for him to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, Mrs. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 42 years old. He is residentially challenged. That would explain all of the criminal trespasses. He has lived in Georgia for over 30 years.
Was he not eligible for assistance through PAD?
I think he was supposed to. I think PAD would still work with him.
There's somebody from PAD on the line, I believe. This sounds like a case ideal for PAD. Do we know if it was recommended for PAD assistance?
I recommended him today. I didn't hear anything back. But
was he not accepted?
Hi, Your Honor. I'm Dre with PAD. Can you confirm the name of the defendant?
It's Mr. Green. What's the first name? Sterling Green.
Okay, Sterling Green, I believe, is already a PAD participant. I'm not for sure. But nobody mentioned him today for me to know.
I'm sorry, it cut out for a second. You said no one mentioned him today?
Yeah, nobody brought him up today for interview. He was not one of the names that was given to me.
Okay. Is it possible for him to be considered now, or is it too late?
No, it's not too late at all. If the state is open, if the solicitor is open to accusing the case.
Any thoughts from the state?
I guess the issue is he may already have been submitted to PAD, and and because I do see the 2023 arrest for criminal trespass, obstruction, battery on a public transit, or simple battery against a law enforcement officer, and another criminal trespass.
Oh, so he was already, or we're sure he was submitted to PAD?
We're not sure because of the
I'm
issue.
I'm looking now.
Okay, because this sounds like, if he can go, that would be a preferred way to handle this.
Yes, Your Honor. I did send an email this morning asking if the solicitor's office would
consider this case.
Consider, but I didn't hear anything. And then let me see.
Okay, let's hold on this one while we look it up, and we're gonna come back to Mr. Green. Can we take another position?
Yes, we can do position number 7, Hernandez.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, your case is 24 CR 000-656. You're charged with theft by shoplifting, obstruction, possession, and use of drug-related objects and giving false information. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
11 total. 2022, possession of meth, giving false name, obstruction, possession of drug-related objects. 2019, possession of a controlled substance. 2017, burglary conviction. 2017, another possession of a controlled substance. 2014, loitering conviction, and 2013, harassment conviction.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas.
You know, brief facts of the case is that on February 5th, 2024, the defendant concealed a pack of Sour Patch Kids totaling $3.73 inside of his jacket pocket and exited the store. One day later, on February 6, 2024, the defendant re-entered the store while the officer just so happened to be reviewing the footage, at which point I guess the officer came out and confronted the defendant, at which point he fled. Other officers were able to detain the defendant minutes later, and the defendant identified himself as Jose Ramirez and then corrected his name to Miguel Hernandez. While searching the defendant, the two methamphetamine pipes were located. Given the nature of the charge, Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We'd like for him to have no contact with the owner of the Exxon, as that person was implicated in the warrant. His name is Muhammad Isam, Muhammedishan, and for him to stay away from the Exxon located at 1105 Holcomb Bridge, Roswell in Fulton County, Georgia. And if we could, well, he's not, never mind.
All right. Mr. Ty, I'm inclined to do pretrial level 2 with the stay away and the no contact with Mr. Isam. Is there any objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, so defendant has 4 charges. It will be a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial at level 2. He's to have no contact with the owner of the stay away location. His last name is Sam, and he is to stay away from that Exxon location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the state on this matter, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. And you were going to sound about something else, Mr. Thomas?
Yes. Given the IT issues that Fulton County is facing, I was actually able to search my email, and I noticed that it appears that on, I believe, January 11th, 2024, which would have been this year, Mr. Green, Sterling Green, was accepted into PAD, and I do believe that he entered it at that time. And so I think that's the indicia of why he was not offered PAD this time around.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Also, it's November 20th as well for criminal trespass and obstruction.
All right. So going back to Mr. Green, he has the 2.
Green.
Going back to Mr. Green, he has the 2 charges. We will do a $500 surety bond, $250 on each count. He is to stay away from that location. What was the location again? It wasn't a medical or any type of facility like that. Okay. He is to stay away from that location and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I do believe that he can still work with PAD. You know, he can still.
If you've been taken once, can you go again?
Yes.
I think the allegation is that he's been taken twice.
Yeah. Once he is a PAD participant, we will always give him services. He will always have that opportunity for services. He just has to engage.
And I believe, did Mr. Pierre Thomas, did you say that it was like the 11th and the 22nd? Because that was a time when our PAD clients, I mean, they were waiting a long time to be released. So I don't know if that was 2 separate releases to PAD or stemming from the same arrest.
Correct. And I understand that there may be, but even if you take them separately, even if one doesn't qualify, the other one is certainly still there. And it's our policy that once PAD is a privilege, right? And so once they've had the privilege of entering PAD and did not successfully complete that, it is not I don't believe it's the office policy to keep sending them to Pat if something is not happening.
All right, we're gonna let the surety bond stand in this case in light of the information before me. All right, we thought about it, we discussed it, and hopefully in the future we'll make different. We may revisit this at a later date. What is my state all-purpose reset date, Ms. Bridgewater? I don't think I announced that.
February the 19th.
Okay, so this case will be reset to the February 19th state all-purpose calendar. We will continue to look at it and come up with dynamic solutions if he does not make bond before then. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Green. Who do we have next?
Number 10, Lee.
All right, Mr. Lee, your case is 24 CR 0000659. You're charged with disorderly conduct and obstruction. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, I just want to know why they were not presented to me on this.
Okay, no, okay. Yes, you understand your rights? That's all.
But that was not the red eyes on the 5th when the lady.
Okay, I'm sure those are defenses Mr. Ty will look into. Mr. Howard, can I have your the history, please?
Second arrest, 2020, failure to stop for blue light conviction. It was out of state.
Okay. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This occurred on the 5th of February, 2024 at 95 Decatur Street, at a classroom south at Georgia State. Officers were dispatched regarding a suspicious person refusing to leave the Georgia State building. When they approached, they asked the defendant for his student ID, his real name. He refused to show either, became aggressive, started yelling, swearing, and getting close to officers, in which at time they arrested him. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from 95 Decatur Street, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right, Mr. Ty, I'm inclined to give your client that signature bond through the jail and require to stay away. Any objections?
Sorry, I would object to the anger awareness, but the stay away and the signature bond through the jail is fine.
All right, defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, $1,500 each count. He is to stay away from the location on Decatur Street, have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Understand it perfectly clear.
I don't want you to say anything that will affect your right to remain silent. I gave you a signature bond through the jail. You're going to sign your own bond. All right. All right. Best of luck to you. Who do we have next?
Next is position 14.
All right. This is Decorious Pons. Your case is 24 CR 0000662. You're charged with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
Ninth arrest, 2018 probation. On probation for armed robbery until 2029. That's 15 SC 133266.
That's it. Okay, Ms. Dunlap.
Your Honor, this incident stems from, it looks like November 12th, 2023 at 399 Holly Street. Argument began between the defendant and it looks like the victim, Shazamane Few. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. It looks like the argument was over the victim wanting diapers and wanting her car back. It turned physical. The defendant kicked the victim out of her passenger side window and it shattered. I'm sorry, he kicked out the passenger side window and it shattered. Some of the glass hit the victim's face and she was bleeding. He also reached inside the car. He punched her 3 times in the face. She was treated at Grady for glass cuts. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim. Shazamine Few, again, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. A stay away from 399 Halsey Street. 1-day anger awareness. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, or we can sound for the victim when appropriate.
Is Ms. Few present, wishes to make a statement? Okay. Ms. Kim? You're muted, Ms. Kim.
Hello. My client is actually 27 years old, and Your Honor, they live together, and this happened about 3 months ago. We would like to request for no further violent contact, and their name is on the lease. Actually, my client is primary leaseholder, and he does not want to file dispossessory action to make his girlfriend to move out. They do have two children together, 3 months and 2 years old. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pre-trial, level 1 or 2, and then no further violent contact. Thank you.
All right, and Ms. Few was not present. All right, defendant is gonna receive a $1,500 surety bond, 1,000 on count 1, 500 on count 2. He's to have no contact with Ms. Few and stay away from that location. He can return one time with law enforcement to get any items. Additionally, he can coordinate transport of the children utilizing a third party. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from defense.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Division 2, Brown.
All right, good afternoon. Your case, oh, that's not right. Your case number is 24 CR 00651. You're charged with theft by taking. Do you understand your rights? I'm gonna assume that's a yes. Mr. Howard?
48 total. Can you hear me?
I can.
2023 probation, 2023 theft by taking, another 2023 probation. He's on probation for burglary, first degree, until 2030. It's 21 SC 179074. You want more?
No, that's good. Thank you, Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Got a brief facts of the case is that an officer arrived at the location, that location being 456 Parkway Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, hidden Fulton County, Georgia, in regards to a larceny call. They spoke with the victim, Mary Anderson, both traditional spellings. She advised that at some time in the AM, she captured the defendant taking or stealing items, which is inclusive of a thermostat, a Zara package, a water filter, and a dishware set out of her garage. She advised the officers that the garage door was broken and that it was open. The officers, after rewatching the surveillance video, eventually were able to catch up with the defendant wearing what appears to be the exact same clothing from the incident, and that the defendant was booked. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, Ms. Anderson. She advised that she does not know the defendant. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She states that the defendant came back to her home about 3 times to steal more items. She stated that those incidents have a separate report. She also advised that she did not receive the stolen items back, unfortunately. She does not wish to have any contact, obviously, with the defendant, and that she wants him to stay away from her residence. The recommendation from the state is, I mean, obviously, you know, there are several incidences allegedly still out there. He was on probation for burglary, and this kind of amounts to a burglary. And so the recommendation from the state on the theft by taking would be a $2,500 surety bond, because there's a high likelihood for him to participate in other crimes, and given his criminal history and the at least 48 arrest. Yeah, 38 in Georgia, 1 in Tennessee, 9 in Miami at least. So he's a multi-state offender. We would like for him to stay away from that location of 456 Parkway Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, for him to have no further contact with Ms. Anderson. In this situation, maybe complete a anti-theft course, and for him to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And if we could sound from Ms. Anderson in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor, but there's nothing further from the state at this time.
All right, is Ms. Anderson present?
I'm present.
All right, if you wish to make a statement, please turn on your camera, raise your right hand. All right, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Again, this is a bond hearing, and if you have, you know, statements and facts that you'd like to make me aware of, you'll have an opportunity to fully present those at a later date. He is entitled to a bond, as this is a misdemeanor offense, but very briefly, what would you like to tell me?
Yeah, I was mostly just going to say about like the second incident of him like coming back in the daytime, and I do have like the incident number, but if I can provide that at a later time, that's fine too. But
Okay. I understand, and I'm assuming you wish to have absolutely no contact with this defendant.
absolutely, yes.
All right, understood. I appreciate you coming to court and making your statement.
For sure.
All
Thank you.
right. All right, Mr. Cook.
My client's 65. He's lived in the Atlanta area for 50 years. He's retired and waiting on a Social Security check. He's applied through a transitional center at which he lives in Atlanta. He has no problem with any stay away order, and we would leave the rest of the matter to the court's discretion.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim in this case, stay away from that incident location, and have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing for the bench, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Brown. Who do we have next?
Can I ask a question? Is this Smith or NOD, this tattoo?
Yes, I think so. Somebody put that. I don't know. Can we confirm that Ms. Smith is an NOD?
Yeah, that was an NOD.
Next is position 16, Mr. Sterling.
Is it Sterling or Steele?
I'm sorry, Steele, Donald Steele.
All right, Mrs. Steele, your case is 24 CR 0000664. In this case, you're charged with battery. You understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
12 total. Last arrest was on the 4th of this month, possession of marijuana. Went to the city jail for that. 2023, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 2018, theft by receiving, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a pistol by a convicted felon. That's it.
All right, Mr. Dunlap, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on January 4th, 2024 at 1093 Regent Street Southwest. Officers responded to a fight call. They spoke with a victim, Miss Tequila Thomas, who stated the defendant punched her in the face with a closed fist, causing several lacerations. He also punched her in the forehead and kicked her in the back. During the assault, he told the victim he's been waiting to beat her ASS. This argument ensued because there was a traffic stop in which the defendant was arguing with the officers and Ms. Thomas was trying to address it. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, and Ms. Tequila Thomas, stay away from 1093 Regent Street Southwest, 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and we can sound for the victim inappropriate.
All right, Ms. Thomas, if you are present, please unmute your screen and raise your right hand. Okay, hearing none, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 48 years old. He was born in Alabama and he moved to Georgia about 2 years because of his job at West Rock. He is a machine operator, gainfully employed to raise his 6 children, Your Honor. He is also a caregiver for his 73 years old father, and complaining witness was actually threatening him and his father. So he was defending both of them, his father and himself. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor. He is not a flight risk. He has girlfriend here. He does have high school graduation, and also he has everything literally here in Georgia now. So we would like to request for signature on bond, and no further contact. No contact is completely fine.
All right. Defendant is, let me make sure let me look at one thing. Okay, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He is to have no contact with Ms. Thomas and stay away from the incident location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Your Honor, the incident location 1092 is actually his place, and where he has his 3 children, minor children, together. I don't think Mr. Tequila Thomas resides there. There's no relationship. I believe that he should be able to go back home.
Okay, do we have information? Okay, well, I can understand that. What we'll do is we'll let him return with law enforcement to ascertain that the victim is not at that location. If not, he can return to that location. If she is there, he must stay away.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 17 is a waiver.
Okay. And then what about position 11 and 12?
Your Honor, 12 is mine, and then also 11, I believe, is Justin Singleton is also mine. I waived his appearance because he was not
He was
accepted.
he was
He was
not
not
accepted?
accepted. No, he
Okay,
was
so
refused.
so
Yeah.
12 is a waiver, 17 is a waiver, and 11 is a waiver as well?
12 is not a waiver. He is a minor, 17 years old. I hope he's there. I believe it is.
He was an NOD from yesterday, I think.
12 is Keyshawn Mitchell. Do we have an announcement?
I double checking, but I didn't have that he was an NOD because this was a possession
Yeah,
of.
no, position, they said Singleton, but do we know what happened to position 12? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the waive case then, position 17. That is Winston 24 CR 0000665. He's charged with 2 counts of simple battery. Mr. Howard, can I please have that history?
7 total. Last was I got 2014 suspended license. 2014 theft by receiving, suspended license and speeding. 2011 trespass.
Okay. Ms. Dunlap?
Your Honor, this incident happened yesterday, February 6, 2024, at 65 Joseph E. Laurie Boulevard at the Ashby train station. Apparently, defendant punched, Mr. Robert Rowland and Cecile Brownlee in the face while at the station when they were sitting on the train. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Robert Rowland and Cecile Brownlee. A stay away from this train station location. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right, are either of those parties present? Was it Brownlee? And what was the other name?
Roland.
Holden?
Roland, but
Roland. All right, hearing none. Defendant will receive $3,000. I'm sorry, let me assume Ms. Kim is not gonna object to this. I'm
No.
inclined to give the signature bond. Okay. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, 1,500 each count. He's to have no contact with either party, stay away from the Ashby train station, and have no alcohol, no drugs or weapons as a condition.
Judge, position number 12, everything was taken care of in felony for orally.
Okay, so he was upgraded to felony?
Yes, ma'am, they did everything in felony.
Okay. So the only other one is position 11? All right, that's a waiver too, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, 11 is Jolie McDowell?
That is actually Mr. Cook's case.
Is that a waiver?
This is the
believe
same
so.
lady from Saturday, you remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I think she needs to be reset to the competency count. I think that's what
She still has to have a first appearance. You can't, she has to. She's refusing to come out. Nobody will get her to waive.
we haven't been able to interview her. And ACDC, I mean, yeah, we haven't been able to interview her.
Okay. Legally,
Saturday, McLean went up on the floor. It was a hot mess. Like
I understand, but she legally has to have a first appearance. We can't just put her on the competency calendar. Okay, I guess, well, she's not here today, so we can reset. I don't want to keep kicking the can down the road. That didn't make any sense. Okay, I'm gonna think about this. We have to reset it for now. I guess we'll put it on tomorrow's calendar. Um, what about, has the social worker been able to go out, perhaps? Is that an option? No, yes?
It is an option. I'll send an email today.
Can we see if this, perhaps the whispering of the social worker might at least convince her to waive the appearance? Because like I said, we can't, procedurally, she has to have a first appearance and then get reset. We can't just put her on. I understand the concern, but we can't. She has to. So,
I'll email the social worker now.
and even if we bring her to, bring a phone to her cell, I'm willing to. I'm not here tomorrow, but I'm here doing C all the rest of the days. So if that's an option too, and she just hears what's happening, we could do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I believe we've concluded the entire calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, will you please review it for me?
Are we gonna do the waiver?
What about Justin Singleton?
That one is not, didn't we do that? No. If he
I
was
don't-
accepted, hold on.
He was not accepted.
NOD.
How do you do?
Yeah, that case is not on the calendar, Ms. Kim.
So that's NOD?
No.
I thought someone said it was
She's checking to see. if
Oh.
it was-
Singleton is not on the calendar.
Mhm.
We did all the other waivers.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened to Singleton, but Singleton's not on his calendar.
Supposed to be NOD.
Okay, perfect. Can we get the paperwork, please, so that he can be released?
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
All right. Now, Ms. Harley, will you please review it for me?
All right, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is February the 19th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position number 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 3, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 4, reset further notice with a $3,500 SOB through pretrial. 5, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $500 good bond. 7, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 8, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 9, reset further notice with a $3,500 SOB through pretrial. 10, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 11 is medically reset till tomorrow. 12 is not on the docket. 13 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 14 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. 15 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 16 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. And 17 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
All right. Hearing none, we'll be in recess until tomorrow's SCA. Everyone take care. Have a good day.
You
Thank
too.
y'all.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.